To the boys' side, conference race is starting to heat up a little bit. Danny, let's start with you. What have you seen maybe in the first week and a half, some of those non-conference games that has surprised you or stood out to you from the boys' side of things?
I think a few days ago on the Saturday, I think a lot of the teams sort of travelled outside of the Toledo area to go and play. You know, St. John's went to St. X's in Cincinnati, St. Francis in Dublin, Jerome, and both suffered, you know, considerable defeats there. You know, and I think that just proves that they're pretty young. They've got a lot of junior, sophomore and freshmen playing for them as well. Not quite the experience of last year's class, whereas I think Jerome and St. X's, they're very junior and senior led. Speaking to Coach McElroy, he said St. X's were an absolute different level. And a couple of the goals they scored were really good. So I think he sees them as a favourite this year, maybe to take the state.
Chris, your biggest surprise this far early in the boys' side of things on the soccer pitch?
Well, I think for one, and I didn't know the new coach Steph at Pearisburg enough, but the way they've changed the way, I guess, that they go about the games, much more possession-oriented, and we made the joke again tonight on air about, you know, it's kind of like Barcelona. They're knocking around inside their own 18. They're going to give up some goals doing that. However, their team's going to be poised to really play some soccer when they need to. They're not going to have to rely on just the long ball, and I think if they stick to it, they're going to have, you know, some situations like Springfield where they have to fight back to get a tie out of it. But at the same point, they're going to be playing some really good soccer by the time they get to the tournament. Maybe they won't have the record that they really want, but by the time they get to the tournament, they're going to be able to go into an environment and play different styles. They're going to be able to take more risk, go a little bit more direct, but still have that base of wanting to possess the ball, wanting to knock it around, and being able to do that. Because just because they're playing that way right now doesn't mean they're going to play that once it gets to the postseason. So I've been really, really interested and surprised to see how that goes. Because every time there's a coaching changeover, new coach is going to come on. Not that they want to put their stamp on necessarily. It just naturally happens, and they're knocking the ball around a lot more this year at Pearisburg. It's been fun to see so far.
And finally, while most college soccer is on hiatus, that is not the case in the NAIA, in the WAC, as Lords will play a soccer season. In fact, the men, Chris, they've got a match coming up this weekend at home against Goshen.
Yeah, and Coach Matt Johnson probably was pretty excited to get into his second season, but then kind of taken from it at first. He probably thought, and so that they have this opportunity now. They're playing games. Goshen coming in for a game this weekend is a great opportunity for the Lord's kind of community as a whole to have something going on a campus like that. It's going to be fun to see what they can do early into the season, and we have so many great WAC programs around us. I mean, Siena Heights just up the road, which I played at and my wife played at, just right up the road. So many players coming out of Northwest Ohio that we get to see here in BCSN playing at Lords or Siena Heights, which we've covered some of their games, or other local WHAC schools. So that's really kind of cool, and we're glad they're able to play and really showcase what they've got while others are having to sit on the sidelines, unfortunately, this fall.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And, of course, that Lords-Goshen matchup, you'll be able to see that on BCSN this weekend. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight on Sidekicks.